to Spiritual Vacancy, where this is a place where we fill your spiritual void. And today's topic we are so excited to discuss. I am Mona Lee. I'm with Beautiful Mind, energy healer, energy worker, and my dear friend.
I am Brooke Ann. I'm a psychic medium and a Reiki practitioner. And what are we talking about today, Mona?
Oh my goodness, one of my favorite subjects to talk about is living your Dharma. And what in the world is living your Dharma? It's basically doing what you love, really doing what resonates with you, doing what really feels good. And I really want to bring that discussion up, Brooke, because we know a lot of people in our lives that are living dharmas. They're not living their dharma, where they're not feeling great in what they're doing and they're ready to do it. And you and I went through that in our journeys. And I remember talking about what we were doing before that wasn't living our dharma, until we finally came out into the world to go, okay, listen, this is what I'm doing. Like when you can become a psychic medium, you knew you were a psychic medium a long time before you even came out into the world to tell people
Right.
what you were doing. So what happened? Can you tell me about that process? Or what
It was a
happened?
scary process. It's hard
Okay.
going from like a corporate, not corporate, because always work for myself, but like, a structured job per se to something that not everybody's okay with,
Mhm.
spiritually with what I do. So, I mean, it's a hard step. It was a hard thing to like fully embrace and be who I truly am and know who I truly am. And in that process, you lose a lot of people. And you
Mhm.
lose a lot of people that you thought would be supporting you forever, and they're the first ones to leave. They're the first
Mhm.
ones to not be a part of your life. And then as you grow, a lot of people leave as you grow as well. And it's okay because you wish them well and they're just not supposed to be on your journey at this time. Because you have to be true to yourself and you have to be who you're really meant to be in this life. Because it's our life. It's your life. It's nobody else's life. So it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Just do it. Do what you feel good about. And it's hard to get over the questioning, am I doing the right thing? Just do
Mhm.
it.
Yes. And you know, what's interesting is that you mentioned losing people along the way. I went through that as well when I shifted from the corporate world and living that type of lifestyle and being around, just a different way, which is good, better, and different. It doesn't matter. But then when we find our truth, we do lose the people who were used to us in that particular ways. And then when we become really our true selves, isn't it amazing how we can find more like-minded people that just live and feel and believe the same way that we do for ourselves. There's no right, there's no wrong, but there's indifference between different types of people, and it's okay. I think that's the biggest part that we've got to get over in our society is the cultural programming, the societal programming, because I think we all kind of grew up in this planet going, oh, we got to make everybody else happy. We've got to, do the right thing. We've got to fit into the box to feel validated. We've got to make sure we're not looked at too differently. And fighting against those things, it's like a salmon swimming upstream in our own soul's journey, isn't it?
Yeah,
We're feeling
definitely.
like we got to step out to do what we love. Like, how was it when you were like, "Oh, guess what, everybody? I'm a psychic medium and I'm owning that title." Yes.
It was awful. I cried.
Scary.
I was
Yeah.
so scared. I was
Yeah.
sick to my stomach. I didn't want to do it. And
Mhm.
my friends were pushing me because when you have support from friends, it's amazing that push you to be the best version of yourself. But then what's interesting too is you'll have friends during this process where they no longer become friends and strangers are more supporting you than people that you're actually close to. So it's a weird balance of I have these people that I don't know and they're like supporting me more than people that I thought would be supporting me. And then you have like your core support that no matter who you are, they're going to love you no matter what and they're going to cheer you on. So it
Yeah.
is hard. I was scared. I was very scared to come out as who I truly am. And that's not really like me. I am
Mhm.
very much like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I am who I am. I do things pure to my own heart and with the best intention at all times, but it's still a scary world. It's still
Well,
scary out
it
there.
can be when we're making a shift or a change, just like any kind of shift or change creates a moment of going, oh, just like if we think about, I love the story of the turtle. When the turtle is growing and evolving into itself, right? It has its own little shell. And when a turtle is doing its thing, he sticks his head out of his shell and he's walking forward. He doesn't walk backwards. He doesn't walk sideways. He walks forward, but only when he takes that chance. And he sticks his head out of his shell and he goes and he just goes. And especially if he's growing out of his shell and he needs a bigger shell. What if he walks out of his shell and then he's just totally alone and naked? Well, a bird could come and eat him. But he's got to keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. And that's what I wish we could all remember is just keep on walking your path. Walk your path. And because we're the ones that, like you had mentioned earlier, we're the ones living in our skin, right? We're the ones that are living in our bodies. We are the ones surviving in these meat suits that we
Yeah,
came into this planet with.
right.
So and we're the ones that are leaving. Our souls are leaving these bodies eventually, but to live our truth, it's just so exciting when we finally get there. So I love to encourage people to like take all of those necessary steps that you can do to just live your dharma, live your life, live your truth, live your authentic self, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And
Oh,
even if it takes time, do it,
yeah,
because I
exactly.
feel like people kind of already know,
Mm,
like in their heart, which way they want to go, but sometimes it's hard to actually make that jump or
yeah.
make that decision to live your life. I mean, like how you're supposed to, because sometimes you have kids or, your spouse might not be on the same page and you want to make sure they're happy as well as you're happy. So a lot of times it's just in divine timing. You have to trust it when it's meant to be, but you can still honor it in different ways, even if you don't dive fully in or take that full leap. There's still a process to it, and still make sure that you are true to your heart or what you love. But I feel like a lot of people are confused at maybe what it is their life purpose, what
Well,
it does make them happy.
yes, and that's what we should really talk about right now is really like what are we supposed to do and who says, and if God gives us free will to do really create our lives and do what we really want to do, and I believe that we have the ability to create heaven on earth by living our truth. And then I was discussing with a friend not too long ago who had just gotten a job just because that person was supposed to, fit in and get a job and get something,
Yeah.
but then was saying, I don't really like it. It's just I'm doing it because I'm supposed to make some money and I got to do this or that. And it's like, why are we wasting time on our planet anymore? What if we could pay attention and awareness to our bodies and our hearts, right? If you go to work, and I did this, I lived this, so I understand, but I went to work at times and I felt sick to my stomach. I didn't want to go in. I just wasn't liking what I was doing at that time because I knew I was just on that hamster wheel of life going, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that, but not really happy. That's when we know we're not living our dharma. We're not living our truth if we really pay attention to how we feel in our body. Our bodies show us everything physiologically shows up.
Yes, it does. And I think a lot of times it's
Mhm.
hard though for us to get out of our own way, because if you're used to a certain job, even as much as you hate it,
Mm,
there could be security there and somehow. Or if you leave the job, then how am I going to pay my bills? There's a comfort in that, where it could be hard for people to truly live how they want, because it could be a huge pay cut, and we know that when you
mhm,
start working for yourself, it's different. It's harder, it can be a struggle, and if you don't have support from family and friends, it can make it even harder.
mhm,
So I understand why some people stay in jobs that they are like truly miserable in, but I always tell them, try to do some things to your heart on the side where you
mhm,
have that balance. So, it's
mhm,
not just about the awful job. If you want to get into the spiritual side, do it on your days off, do it at night, do it in the morning before you go to work. and you'll start becoming more happier. And hell, it could be crocheting or knitting, or it could be like, you love to bowl and you always wanted to be a bowler, whatever. Like it could be so
Mhm.
random, but
Mhm.
make the time to do it, to find
Mhm.
the happiness of what really pulls to your heartstrings and makes you happy,
Yes,
you know?
I agree with that. When I was switching over also from the corporate to what I love, I used to work on my days off on doing what I really, really, really love to do. And working those days off was so much more joy. And it wasn't work. It was
Right.
joy. It was freedom. It was everything. And then starting to finally, I'd like to recommend to people, put yourself into the places where you're going to have more days off from the job.
Yeah.
You look at it, 80% of people statistically are doing what they feel they have to do, and they're on that darn hamster wheel. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And this is then we wonder why people are so sick. Why
Mhm.
is there so much illness? Because there's dis-ease in what we do, right? There's unease turns into disease. Disease.
Mhm.
Ah, the big pharma loves it, don't they?
Oh yeah.
They love to be able to take this pill, take that pill here, this will make it better. Here, take this, I'll make you numb.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, when do we stop the madness? Let's do those steps that we can do to live our best lives, because we're meant to be happy.
We
We
are.
are meant to be happy.
We are. We're meant to be
Yes.
happy.
Yes.
And a lot of people nowadays, I don't even know how people are affording to live, honestly. I mean, it's crazy if they have small kids and there's rent is high, mortgages are high. And I think it might even be more scary for people to jump out of like, a good paying job or something that's stable to really truly what they want to do. Because it's challenging nowadays. It is not like
It
when
is. It is. But anything is possible.
that is true. That is,
Yeah,
I agree.
anything is possible.
I
Just like
agree.
I love what Oprah Winfrey said one day. I was listening to one of her podcasts one day about living, about life, and she was like, "Okay, you know what? If you want to make bread and society doesn't agree with it, what if it doesn't pay your bills? What if it's something, but you love to make bread? Well, then guess what? Make bread
Right, do it.
and do it well
Yeah,
and
right, that's
master
right.
your craft and do what you love, and you'll be the most amazing bread maker in the whole entire world. If you really
For
want
sure.
to be a bread maker, do it.
Yeah,
Just do it. Master it.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely. I think the problem I find with more people is they want instant gratification.
Yeah.
And
They do
that's the hard part where
because they're
they,
spoiled. They're
right, I mean
spoiled.
everything is so instant
Every one
now.
of us, every single one of us. It's like the instant gratification. Well, it's also our devices, not to jump up
Right.
into a different rabbit hole, but if we look at, Facebook, Instagram, all those things constantly, that dopamine release in the brain is like boom, 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 boom. There it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're disconnecting from ourselves, aren't we?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
We
I
are
don't know how people
disconnecting.
are on social media like they are. I know it's like a craft in itself and it's not one I'm familiar with, so I try my best, but I feel like with people do not get the instant, like I'm instantly amazing at this, or I instantly don't have clients, or I instantly don't do this, then I failed. And it's,
Yeah,
you got to remember, it's a process to live your purpose. It's not going to happen overnight because nothing good happens overnight.
right.
Even bread makers that have like these, like you were talking about the bread making, a
Mhm.
bread that's really good is taking time. The
Yes,
yeast even has to rise, you might
it
have to leave it
does.
overnight. There's a step process to it. So I always tell people, don't give up. Just
That's
because
right.
it didn't happen exactly when you wanted it to happen, if you keep that intention and you keep focused on your goal and manifesting, it will happen
Well,
when the
it will.
timing's right.
That's right. Keep your eye on the prize too, is what I want to
Yeah.
share with our listeners is make a vision board. Get it in front of your face. Make a vision board. Put your mantras on there saying, I am a bread maker or
Yeah.
breadwinner. I'm a breadwinner.
Right.
Or
Bread
whatever
winner
you
maker.
think. Whatever you want, whatever you choose, put it
Yeah.
out there. Take those action steps and put everything on a vision board. Place it in your commode area. That's where I put my vision board, is where my commode is, so I can see it like a few times a day. It's up in
Make
your
a
face.
place for it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But even writing love messages on the mirror to yourself, like I am worthy, or I am deserving, or today's action step is, and make a plan, carve out a plan of whatever little baby action step it is to be that turtle to stick your neck out of the shell and just go.
Oh, do it.
Just
Yeah.
go.
And do it when you can when you have time.
Yeah.
Do the things that you love to live your life purpose. And you could do multiple things. And you don't have to just fit into one box. You
Yes.
can be multiple things at the same time. I want to remind people that you can have a full-time job. There's a medium friend of mine. She lives in Wilmington, North Carolina. She
Mhm.
has a full-time job at a place and she does mediumship on the side. And she's
Mhm.
an excellent medium. And she has the balance of both. There, I
Yeah.
just want to remind our listeners, there is no reason for you not to be able to balance what you truly love if it doesn't fully pay your bills, to
Mhm.
have that corporate job. And if you can make both of them work and make yourself happy, do it.
Yeah. When you do what you love and you love what you do, and it's not a job, it's just it's a joy,
Yeah.
you get more amplified energy.
Yep.
Feeds into your energy of exactly what you want, and then you'll find knowing your why behind
Mhm.
what you want to do, all the how will fall into place.
Right.
When you know why you are doing what you love to do and what it's for, having that faith also, I think, is important, isn't it?
Yeah. Very.
Having that faith in yourself,
Mhm.
having that faith that you are doing exactly what you want to do.
Yeah. Stay
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Keep the faith. Know that there's a higher plan that we don't even realize yet until we get
Yes.
there.
That's
You
right.
know? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
live your Dharma, live
Yes,
your truth.
please. And the more happy people we have on this earth, not to say kumbaya, let's all hold hands, but I would love that, of
Oh
course.
yeah, me too.
But the more happy people we have in our communities, in our areas of wherever you live in the world, the more happy you are, the more glowing you'll be, the more that will spread out. And that's what we need on this earth, is just to have more happiness and really create more joy around us. Because I know it is possible. I know
Yes,
I may sound like a dreamer, but I am, and I know that it can happen because I've lived it.
and
Yeah,
it can happen. I promise you, it will happen
it
in
does.
divine timing. Yes.
Mhm.
So we thank you for listening in today. Live your Dharma, live your life purpose. And if you don't know, tune into yourself and figure out what it is that where your heart desire is leading you, because I promise it's not wrong. And no
That's
matter
right.
how random it might be. I love your little owl mug. That's so
Be
cute.
wise.
Woo, woo. Well, thank you guys so much for listening in. We will see you guys next week. We hope y'all have a beautiful day and namaste.
Namaste.